Oh, it was supposed to. Okay, Turtasaur going Lollipop. Seeing mostly Lolas and ribbons today. So Funchuck, Bub. This is a very good boxing set. Although I don't know how it's going to fare up to 1slayer1's more mobility based.
I mean, Funchuck is pretty big.
No, yeah, I don't think enough people play Springtron or Max Brass. Okay, so seems like most of the players, these players are more defensive. Not really zoners, but you know, not exactly Pegas any either way. Turtasaur getting an early slight lead, using the very good defensive, using the Funchuck and Bub very good defensively to block the Slapamanders, and having good movement to be able to dodge them. Turtasaur able to has a huge lead right now and able to take it very cleanly.
Going into round 2 with the rush.
I think if Slayer wants to take this one, they have to use their mobility more and try and dodge and counter instead of trying to outbox the unoutboxable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the Funchuck is definitely screwing with 1slayer1 here.
Although 1slayer1 able to get a few good hits. Well, it does get grabbed, which puts them at a health disadvantage.
I guess the arms gene runs in the family with Hedge here.
And I hope there's a family. But it's fairly even so far. Although 1slayer1 able to get the health lead back. Turtasaur using the shield dashes very well to dodge. And able to, I guess, 1slayer1's initial rush misses, which allow, oh. Okay, this gives me, was that Hedgie or Turtasaur? Because it seems like the taunt gene also runs.
The taunting runs in the family.
Although, I don't actually know, I actually don't know enough. But, it seems like a very Hedgie thing to do.
Yeah. Like brother.
Okay. I think, yeah, it seems like this game is going more to Turtasaur, definitely. I would have shielded if I were Slayer there, just to be safe. But, I think Slayer can get a rush.
Oh.
Wait. Okay, they get rush. Oh, able to take it without using rush.
I have confirmed that is Hedgie's brother because Hedge was texting me during the match.
Okay. I mean, I trust Hedgie, but still. I mean, saying I trust this person, but means you really don't trust them. Shoot. Yeah. Although it's blocked, the rush still does a good amount of chip damage. I'd say almost 100. And Slayer1's at a pretty sizable health lead, even after getting hit a few times. I think they should just focus on getting rush and poking, since again a more movement-based approach is definitely preferred when you can't outbox your opponent, which is how you deal with most hyper-boxing sets, is you have to outmove them, not outbox them. Unless, of course, you want to run a heavy arm, but that is it. And if you can do that, more power to you, but heavy arms, especially at higher levels, you really want to have the option to outmove opponents, and not always opt to try to outbox them. Slayer1 also using a really good job of curving the Slapamander completely around all of Turtasaur's arms, bypassing the need to box entirely, and just kind of landing a clean hit. Slayer at about a 25% health lead and able to take the game. A very close one, and Slayer was able to adapt to Turtasaur's more boxing heavy.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Turtasaur definitely looked like he was taking that over 1slayer1 in the first round. But Turtasaur was definitely Slayer was definitely able to adapt successfully and take the set.
So let's see what Turtasaur chooses. I think the more narrower stages, like, well, Buster Beach, are very good for them, just because it makes it harder to strafe from side to side around. While a stage like Mausoleum might not be as good, because it gives Slayer more options to go around and approach. Via Dulce would be very good for Turtasaur, considering that it basically forces you to go through whatever your opponent throws at you.
So Slayer right now is banning Sparring Ring and Mausoleum.
I don't see why, but that's fine. Whatever works.
Yeah, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to that.
Hedgie, if your brother wants you to choose for him, just choose whatever. Please don't. Okay, so wait, is Turtasaur in the Discord or no? Or is Hedgie talking?
Via Dulce. They're going Via Dulce. So I'm guessing that was a Kurt's decision. So you two are free to go.
Okay, so think Turtasaur switching to T-Bird, which I could see really good at anti-airing, considering its very steep angle once it starts going up. Bye Rosh, thanks for watching. Yeah. I don't think Rosh is in the general, so we may not see him, but who knows, maybe he'll be able to watch later. Okay, so, Turtasaur switching to T-Bird, which I personally have no luck using at all, but if he can use it to kind of hit Slayer out of the air, then that could be very useful. But so far, Slayer seems to have be taking control of this match. Being significantly more aggressive with approaches, kind of exerting more pressure, although now they seem to back off. Almost able to hit Turtasaur out of the rush, but Turtasaur able to get about 100 damage or so. And Turtasaur is just one hit away. Slayer able to take it with an uncharged Slap-O-Manner. Pretty convincingly, too. I think now it's time for Turtasaur to start adapting. Oh, Svenja, you still there?
Sorry, just dealing with Punchout stuff.
Ah.
I wasn't expecting beginners to run so close to the general tournament, so I'm going to have to do some stuff during the actual broadcasting.
If you want, I can just commentate, but you have to let me know if you're leaving, just so I don't...
I'm not leaving.
Like, if you ever have to leave to do stuff, just let me know, so I don't pause awkwardly for you to go. Like now. Inkling. No? Okay.
We're going to have to do some on-the-spot seating for Punchout.
Okay, so Turtasaur seems to still have trouble this match as well, as Slayer has rush, has health, and Turtasaur is just in the corner, one hit away. Doesn't look very good for them. Yeah. Okay, Slayer takes game 2. This is a best of 5 as well, so...
So, Sparky is asking if the beginner's bracket had any money to it.
No.
I said if we reach 10 people that there would be a beginner's bracket. Or,
there is a beginner's
if we
bracket.
reach 10 people, there would be a beginner's bracket prize pool.
Well, no, the reason I don't like that, the reason I'm not for beginner bracket prize pool is it encourages top players to kind of join even though they're not, which could just mess up the whole idea of the beginner's bracket is made so you don't get curb stomped immediately. Because
Yeah,
like, in
and
the general
also
chat, I'm assuming a lot of these players are going to get matched up with some of the best players in the game, and they're just going to get completely destroyed, and that's not a fun experience. Now, I've had that experience before. My first MLMs, which were a tournament series that... Yeah, exactly, Steelhead. I'd say a lot of people would just have joined beginners, even if they're not a beginner, just for the money. And I did not want that. I think that would just ruin it and just make it an earlier bracket with just less prize.
Alright, so let's see how the striking is going. So, 1slayer1 has banned sparring ring and temple ground. So it's up to Turtasaur as to what they play on. Let me think. I don't know. I feel like there's not much rhyme or reason as to why they're banning stages. Maybe they're just personal.
I mean, that's what most of it
dislikes.
as well. I'd say stage bans are not the biggest of issues. Because especially though the playstyles are fairly similar. In fact, they stay back at a distance and poke. Like,
alright, DNA
if you're fighting, I don't know, Steelhead, who's in the chat, you don't want to go to Buster Beach. Because he's just going to knock you in the corner and then set up deflect and start just completely obliterating you.
I forget what tournament it was, but I think the first time I fought Steelhead in tournament was on Buster Beach.
Bruh.
I made that mistake.
Oh, yeah. In fact, any brass, which is like Grimwood and Okram. A lot of EU brasses, but there aren't really that many people who play. Yeah. No, yeah. A lot of, at the lower levels, most of stage banning is simply personal preference. Although...
Yeah, alright. So it's personal preference. That makes sense.
I mean, that's what most stage banning is, just...
Yeah.
A lot of personal preference lines up with what stages does my opponent's playstyle tend to not work as well.
But DNA, I feel like, is good for Lola with her dash are very good with playing ring around the pillar.
But then again, it's also good for Ribbon Girl because her jumps can allow her to can navigate the pillars and allow her to just kind of I mean, none of the stage isn't really amazing for either player, but it's not really a bad stage either.
I keep bringing up the fact in chat that check-in for the general bracket has started.
Because
I will notify people out on the Discord after the bracket.
Check-in start an hour before bracket, so
yes.
We literally just hit the hour before bracket mark, so they should have just started. This match looking much better for Turtasaur, being at a slight health lead, which contrasts to a huge health deficit on the Via Dolce match. Turtasaur burning rush, but the grab from Slayer was too far in the animation for him to get the punish. And now Slayer has both a health and rush advantage. Seems fairly unlikely that Turtasaur can bring it back. Yeah, Slayer taking the first.
Yep, and 1slayer1. I believe both players are sitting on their rush.
Yeah, Turtasaur's doing really well.
Oh no, never mind.
No, shoot, not Heady. Turtasaur burned their rush. Almost worked, but grabs are surprisingly don't have as much lag as you'd think. Almost landing the pineapple grab, which is a grab that you do at the beginning of a round, but seemed to have just missed. There are, 3 types of grabs? Yeah, there are like 3 named grabs. There's a pineapple grab, which is a grab you do at the very start of a round. There's a Dendy grab, which is a grab you do right after an uncharged hit. And then I think, not really used, but a Name grab is when you grab someone at the end lag of their rush.
I've never even heard of Name grab.
No, yeah, it was just like, no one uses it, but too bad.
I think it would be named after like a tech, like the Yabuki, which isn't used in competitive, but
like there are really only 3 players that use missiles often. Me, Beamer, and Replicant. Beamer tends to use Siki though. Well, both Replicant and I use Homie, although I use it more since That's more replicant
So,
Luca set.
Slayer taking that round. Even
That
with
one
the rush.
Slayer 1. Okay,
1slayer1.